What if I told you that some of the most famous black celebrities carried a secret love life no one ever knew about? While millions admired their talent and charisma, behind the scenes, they were protecting a part of themselves they never shared with the world. From legendary singers to iconic actors, these stars kept their lovers hidden, some out of fear, others by choice, but all until the very end. Stick around, because here are 15 black celebrities who kept their lovers a secret until death. You won't believe some of these stories. 15. Chadwick Boseman, the man who brought T'Challa to life on the big screen, carried more than just the weight of Wakanda on his shoulders. Chadwick Boseman, the beloved Black Panther star, quietly nurtured a profound love with singer Taylor Simone Ledward that remained largely hidden from the public eye. Their romance began in 2015, blossoming away from the glare of Hollywood's spotlight. While fans speculated about his personal life, Boseman masterfully maintained his privacy, sharing intimate moments with Taylor that only their closest friends knew about. The couple's engagement happened in secret, and their wedding ceremony was an equally private affair, occurring shortly before Boseman's tragic death in 2020. Just as he kept his colon cancer diagnosis hidden, protecting his family from unwanted scrutiny, Boseman shielded his deepest love from public consumption. It was only after his passing that the world learned about the depth of their connection and their sacred union, revealing a man who valued genuine intimacy over public spectacle. 14. Prince. The Purple One's mystique extended far beyond his music and flamboyant stage presence. Prince Rogers Nelson, known simply as Prince, cultivated an aura of mystery that encompassed every aspect of his life, including his romantic relationships. Among his most closely guarded secrets was his deep, transformative relationship with singer Susannah Melvoin. This connection, which profoundly influenced his songwriting and artistic expression, remained completely hidden from public knowledge throughout his lifetime. Those closest to Prince knew that Susannah held a special place in his heart, inspiring some of his most emotionally raw compositions. Their relationship existed in the shadows of his public persona, protected by Prince's notorious need for privacy and control over his narrative. The romance influenced his music in ways that fans could feel but never fully understand, adding layers of meaning to songs that seemed to speak of a love both passionate and forbidden. Only after his unexpected death in 2016 did details of this significant relationship begin to emerge, revealing another dimension of the artist's complex emotional landscape. 13. Whitney Houston. Behind Whitney Houston's powerful voice and radiant smile lay a heart that loved deeply and secretly. While the world knew of her tumultuous relationship with Bobby Brown, few were aware of her private romance with Jermaine Jackson, Michael's older brother. This relationship, which developed during the height of her career, was carefully concealed from both the media and her fan base, existing in stolen moments between recording sessions and tours. The connection with Jermaine represented a different side of Whitney, one that sought solace away from the pressures of her public image. Friends later revealed that this relationship provided her with emotional sanctuary during some of her most challenging professional periods. Their romance was characterized by deep conversations, shared musical interests, and a mutual understanding of the unique pressures that came with fame within legendary musical families. The secret nature of their bond added an element of forbidden love that both complicated and intensified their connection. Only after Whitney's tragic death in 2012 did the full extent of this relationship come to light, painting a more complete picture of the woman behind the voice. 12. Jackie Wilson. The electrifying performer known as Mr. Excitement brought audiences to their feet with his dynamic stage presence and powerful vocals. But his most passionate performance happened away from the spotlight. Jackie Wilson maintained a long-term secret romance with actress and singer Leslie Uggams, a relationship that both treasured but felt compelled to hide due to the social climate of their era. Their love affair spanned several years during the height of both their careers, conducted through clandestine meetings and coded communications. The relationship faced the dual pressures of maintaining their professional reputations while navigating the complex racial and social dynamics of the entertainment industry in the 1960s and 70s. Both Wilson and Uggams feared that public knowledge of their romance could damage their careers and subject them to unwanted scrutiny from fans and industry executives alike. The secrecy added both intensity and strain to their connection, creating a love that burned brightly but remained forever in the shadows. Friends and colleagues suspected the depth of their feelings, but respected their need for privacy, becoming unwitting guardians of their secret until both had passed away. 11. Langston Hughes. Langston Hughes gave voice to Black America through poetry that still echoes today. But while he captured the depth of love, pain, and hope on paper, his own love life remained a mystery. Throughout his life, Hughes never acknowledged any romantic partner publicly or privately. That silence sparked endless speculation. Scholars have combed through his letters and poems, searching for clues. Some believe he had secret relationships, possibly with men, but chose privacy in a time when being open could mean losing everything. His poems often spoke of longing and emotional depth, but never named names. Maybe that was the point. Maybe the love he carried couldn't survive in the spotlight. Whatever the truth, Hughes took it with him. All that's left are his words, beautiful, aching, and full of hidden truths. 10. Luther Vandross. Luther Vandross had a voice that made millions believe in love. But while he gave the world timeless ballads, he never shared who inspired them. Throughout his life, Luther kept his romantic relationships hidden so well that fans were left guessing even after his passing. Those closest to him say Luther struggled with being open about his sexuality, fearing the backlash from an industry and audience that wasn't ready. As a black male R&B star singing about women and romance, going public could have cost him everything. It wasn't until after he died in 2005 that friends confirmed he was gay and had quietly loved behind the scenes. His most heartfelt song suddenly made even more sense, born from a love he couldn't speak aloud. Luther's silence wasn't shame, it was survival, but it still leaves one wondering, how many of those love songs were written for someone the world never got to know? 9. James Baldwin. James Baldwin was never afraid to speak truth to power. His writing cut deep, challenging racism, injustice, and identity. But when it came to his own love life, Baldwin chose silence. Living as a black gay man during a time when both identities were under fire, he kept his romantic relationships deeply private. Though he spent much of his life in France, where he felt safer, Baldwin never shared names or details about the people he loved. Close friends knew about some of his relationships, but the public never did. His lovers remained nameless, hidden between the lines of his stories. Baldwin believed some things needed protection, not because he was ashamed, but because love deserved peace. In a world where everything else was a fight, maybe his private life was his safe place. 8. Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor laid his soul bare on stage. Nothing was off limits. He joked about drugs, mental illness, and even childhood trauma. But the one part of his life he rarely touched? His most intimate relationships. While his multiple marriages made headlines, many of his deeper connections stayed in the dark. Friends say Richard was surprisingly quiet when it came to romance. He could shock an audience with brutal honesty, but when asked about certain lovers, he clammed up. It wasn't fear, it was protection. After living through so much pain, maybe Pryor wanted to keep a little joy just for himself. Some believe he had powerful relationships the public never knew about, including possible same-sex affairs. But he took those truths to the grave. 7. Sammy Davis Jr. Sammy Davis Jr. was a star who did it all, sang, danced, acted, and broke racial barriers. But behind the spotlight, he was also a man who kept his deepest loves private. Though his public romances, including his marriage to Swedish actress May Britt, made headlines, several of his most meaningful relationships stayed hidden. Those close to Sammy say he protected these private affairs from the media circus that followed him everywhere. Some say it was about race. Others think he just wanted something real, away from cameras and criticism. He had enough battles just being a black man in a white-dominated industry. Sammy knew how to entertain millions, but when it came to love, he kept it quiet. Those private moments, away from flashing lights, were his escape. 6. Monique. Monique has never been one to hold back. She's spoken boldly about Hollywood, body image, and even her open marriage. But surprisingly, there are a few romantic chapters she never let the world read. Behind her tough, unfiltered persona, she carefully guarded certain relationships from public eyes. Those close to her say Monique had private romances that she never brought into the spotlight, not out of shame, but out of wisdom. The entertainment world can twist the most beautiful connections into gossip and scandal. Monique learned to keep what mattered most out of reach. These secret loves grounded her, offering peace in a world that constantly demanded more of her. She protected those relationships fiercely, trusting only a tight circle of friends with the details, 5. Donny Hathaway. Donny Hathaway's music carried so much soul that it felt like he was crying through the speakers. He had a wife and children, but rumors have always swirled about a secret love, a woman he never named. Someone said to be his emotional anchor during the darkest times. This mystery woman never appeared in public, yet some believe she was behind many of his most heartfelt songs. Donny struggled deeply with mental illness, and people close to him say this secret relationship was one of the few places where he found peace. Why did he hide her? Maybe out of loyalty to his family, or maybe because the industry wasn't a place for complicated truths. Either way, that quiet love was buried with him when he passed in 1979. 4. Dorothy Dandridge. Dorothy Dandridge was more than just Hollywood's first black Oscar-nominated actress. She was a symbol of elegance, grace, and tragedy. Publicly, her love life was complicated, including a well-known affair with director Otto Preminger. But there were whispers of a different romance, a secret relationship with a European man she never named. Friends claimed they were deeply in love, but had to keep it hidden because of America's strict racial boundaries in the 1950s. Being a black woman, seen openly with a white man, could have destroyed her already fragile career. Instead, Dorothy lived with the pain of separation and silence. That relationship, if real, never saw the light of day, and she never spoke of it, not once. 3. Billy Preston. Billy Preston lit up every stage he touched. From the Beatles to the Rolling Stones, his keyboard magic was legendary. But while his talent was front and center, his love life stayed completely in the dark. For years, Billy avoided personal questions, and no public partner was ever seen by his side. After he died in 2006, close friends hinted that Billy had been romantically involved with men, but never felt safe enough to live openly. At the time, being gay in the music industry could cost you everything, especially as a black artist. Some believe he had a long-term partner the public never knew about. Others think he chose solitude over risk. It's sad to think someone so full of life had to hide a piece of his heart. Was he protecting his career, or was he protecting someone he loved? 2. Jesse Owens. The Olympic legend who shattered Adolf Hitler's theories of racial superiority on the world's biggest stage carried himself with quiet dignity throughout his life, including in matters of the heart. Jesse Owens, whose 4 gold medals in the 1936 Berlin Olympics made him an international hero, maintained extraordinary privacy around his romantic relationships beyond his well-known marriage. During his post-Olympic life, Owens navigated complex social and professional pressures as a black athlete, trying to capitalize on his fame in an era of limited opportunities. This challenging landscape influenced his decision to keep certain romantic connections completely private, understanding that any personal scandal could destroy the carefully constructed public image that supported his family and career. Those close to Owens knew that he valued discretion and understood the potential consequences of romantic indiscretions becoming public knowledge. His approach to privacy reflected the careful way he had learned to move through a world that celebrated his athletic achievements while still limiting his opportunities because of his race. The full extent of his romantic life remained private until after his death, when some previously unknown relationships and connections were finally revealed by those who had helped guard his secrets for decades. 1. Harry Belafonte. The king of Calypso, who used his platform to advance civil rights causes while entertaining millions worldwide, maintained remarkable discretion about his private romantic life throughout his long career. Harry Belafonte, whose activism made him a target of government surveillance and industry blacklisting, understood better than most the importance of protecting certain aspects of his personal life from public scrutiny. His romantic relationships outside of his known marriages were conducted with the same strategic thinking he applied to his activism and career moves. Belafonte recognized that any personal scandal could undermine his effectiveness as a civil rights advocate and damage his ability to use his celebrity for social change. This awareness influenced his decision to keep certain romantic connections completely private. Friends and colleagues admired Belafonte's ability to maintain these boundaries while living such a public life dedicated to social justice. His secret relationships provided him with personal fulfillment and emotional support that sustained him through decades of challenging activism and professional pressures. These hidden connections remained protected throughout his life. With those who knew about them, understanding the importance of discretion for someone whose public work was too important to risk compromising through personal revelations. Now that you've uncovered these hidden love stories, what does it say about fame, privacy, and the price of living in the spotlight? How many more truths are still waiting to be told behind closed doors? If this surprised you, don't keep it to yourself. Share this video and start the conversation. And hey, if you want more eye-opening stories about the stars you thought you knew, hit that subscribe button and stay tuned. What secret will we reveal next?